Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Saying that you're the best, you gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy, is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
Once again, you're tuned in to World Combat Sports. Man, it's another Monday up in here. 2022, man. The first month is about to expire real quick like. Hold on for a second. Real quick like, you know. And it's moving along real nice. We got some pretty good topics coming up. As always, you know, my interaction comes from the supporters and everything. So I have no problem with y'all dropping questions if they pertinent to boxing. You feel me? Just stay on topic. That's all you gotta do. Just stay on topic. Be lovey-dovey. Appreciate it. Salute the ones who are the road dogs, man. I haven't used road dogs in a while. The road dogs, them shock troops out there, dog. That support WCS. I appreciate you. Appreciate the shock troops in the building. The shock troops on deck. You know what I'm saying? That's what them shock troops do. The ones that really rock with me and not around me. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the ones that's out in the workforce. You know, hopefully everything is great with y'all. So let's get down to it. I'm going to give a little bit of time for more people to jump in the building, at least a nickel. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get jumping on this freaking Gary Russell situation with Masayo. You know, speak about former WBC champ Deontay Wilder returning. You know what I'm saying? And we just gotta, talk a little bit more about the back end topic. You know what that's about. Matter of fact, I didn't even put my I gotta put my thumbnail up there for a little bit. You know what it is. And we're gonna talk Crawford versus Ugas for Undisputed. You know, who takes it. So you got Russell Jr. robbed. You know what I'm saying? Was he really robbed? I just wanna spread my wings and soar, soar above that subject for a little bit. And take a look from a bird's eye view. You feel me? And see what's up. See what the people think about, if Gary Russell was robbed. Looking at the compy box, the punch stats. Basically observing the fight yourself. What did you see? Because that's gonna be tough. That's a very complex situation because everybody's assessment of how they are going to break down something or evaluate it differs, man. There's a divide. Always it's going to be that way when it comes to boxing. Certain people are going to say they're hardcore and they're looking at the accuracy of Gary Russell, just like I said. I say his counter shots had accuracy and he was stinging them. He was stinging Masago with that. You know what I'm saying? But also I put out there too, y'all. You have to look at Masayo. He looked the part. He's in this particular era right now where they still searching, praying, and screaming for another Manny Pacquiao, especially after Yordenis Ugas did what he did to him, right? So you do, some of us going here with the mentality like if you see somebody getting a title shot for the first time, they need to do more than enough to win that title. I felt with Gary Russell that Masayo didn't do enough to take the title from him. You know what I'm saying? He was moving around and looking, he was dancing to the music and everything. But Gary was sitting up there and he was showing you why he's one of the best boxers in the sport. I felt that his sharpness, his defense, like I said, his defense was on point. His defense was on Jacob. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker was ticking at his own beat. And not to mention, I believe he injured his hand like in the fourth round or something when he threw that right hand. Maxayo, he didn't have anything to do with the injury. Not at all. He didn't have anything to do with it. But, Gary came in there with a pre-existing injury. Masayo didn't have anything to do with inflaming it or irritating it. None of that shit. It was bound to happen regardless, because you think you're talking about a joint that is located on the second step of a limb. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the impact area, dog. The elbow and the shoulder, those two right there are just crucial. For real. So Masayo became the WBC featherweight world champion. And the fight was pretty close. I had it pretty close. I'm not going to lie. I had the fight pretty damn close. And once again, I like I said, who are the judges? What are they type of flavor? What entices them when they watch a fight? You know what I'm saying? What's their rhythm? Do they like a flat-footed, type of fighter who works his way on the inside, don't give up space, and continue to the counter punch and push the pace? Are they inclined to like a boxer, someone who used their foot movement and mobility, put their punches together from a bit more angles than a flat-footed fighter? They do box off the back foot. They have an all-around boxing game, but not everybody like that. Let's say, for instance, Richardson Hitchens. He loved using his jab. If Hitchens went in there and fought Masayo and just popped him with the jab, and never really engaged, they might have still gave it to Masayo. I mean, if that is the type of judges we're looking for, you know what I'm saying? It might have just been gift wrapped, predetermined that, hey, this was the night Gary Russell was coming off that title. Period. We have other plans, and he's not a part of them just yet. But look, I look at it like this. I don't think that Gary Russell is done with the sport like a lot of people riding him off, because, the man still has to make a living. And I think he still want to prove to boxing what a lot of us know, that he's one of the best top pound for pound fighters out here. He can box. Anybody who think Gary Russell cannot box and he's not cut from a different cloth, I don't know what to freaking tell you, man. You straight up hating, man, because he's cut from him and his brothers cut different. But Gary, I just it would have been a great reflection for us to see him a bit more active and engaging in the ring. So, we can have some criteria based off his box rec and his opposition to put him on the pound for pound list, to put him in there with some bigger names. But, man, much as I look at the fight, I really favor Russell's, counter shot accuracy. It's really hard, to keep on firing a shotgun like that, especially when the person has a weapon in both hands, left and right, but you coming in just with a shotgun with a bayonet on the end of that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But I seen Gary Russell go in there and make it work for him. I seen very productive scholar type boxing skills coming from Russell. Defense on point, man, solid. I mean, it's not. Look, I'm gonna tell you, it's not too many fighters out here in the game that's more technically astute than Mr. Gary Russell Jr. I'm just saying that dude can box. You say what you want about being small, this, that, and the other, man. And, G. Russell can box, man. He can get it in. He can box, man. He had Masayo, trying to find a motherfucking GPS. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he didn't know what Gary was. He still here, and the referee over there pointing right there. You see him? Go get him. We on the transition. Out with the old guard, in with the new. Go get him. You know what I'm saying? We got to sell it to the fans. Don't you dare sit up here and make it seem like you're losing this fight tremendously. But I thought, with Gary Russell accuracy, man, I just really felt that if it would have been a draw, I wouldn't have been mad. Because for one, Gary has one loss on his record for Vasily. So a draw is not going to move anything, but it would have somewhat flickered the opportunity for him to step up in weight class to fight whomever. You know what I'm saying? Either 130, 135. I really don't think, much of me don't think that he would have got Gervonta right away. But a big part of it is telling me that what's going on with PBC over there, that they're looking for some big fights or looking for some fights. They willing to just put on any fights right now and put them on PPV. So if looking at Gervonta and Gary Russell, that is pay-per-view. It's regardless of what less numbers that Gary Russell did. He's gonna complement the dance floor. You know what I'm saying? Both of them gonna complement the dance floor. Both of them short. Both of them can box their ass off. That shit would be on point, man. That shit would be good for boxing. I mean, I'm talking about really. That should be good for boxing because, people, boxing fans think that Tank can box, and they think that Gary Russell can box. They think Tank has pretty good defense, but they probably know that Gary has better defense. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the power, we know Tank has an advantage in that area. But when it comes to Gary, you can still win a fight by outworking, putting away rounds. We seen Tank be down. Supposedly, allegedly, he was down. From what I was looking at, it wasn't. But we seen him be down in a fight, supposedly, and then he come back. So it'll be very interesting if they was going into the mid to late rounds and the fight was super close, or they were saying that Gary was up. Tank is a hunter, man. Tank is a savage, for real. Just like I say, Gary Russell is cut from a different cloth. Tank is too, but Tank's cloth is a bit more, saturated, soiled. He's been through it. He's been through the motherfucking mud trenches, all that. I know the Russells have too. I'm just saying, both of them are cut from a motherfucking different cloth. But I just think when it came down to the roads travel up to this point, yeah, you can say Gervonta, man, he was all the way in the mud. But that'll be a damn good fight. That would be a very entertaining fight. This is what we need at these lighter divisions, especially with Tank, because we just don't want to take who he's fought at lightweight and give him a pass. We don't want to do that. We don't want to just give him a pass for who he's fought at lightweight. We got to come better than that. We got to hold him accountable too. Captain Chaos on deck. What's good with it? How y'all brothers feeling? King Mitch on deck. TV on deck. What's good? He said Gary Russell's a class act. If you love boxing, you got to feel for Gary. He was hurting physically and mentally. True words, man. Like certain boxers have their own way of being warriors. You know what I'm saying? I felt that. I know Gary has kids at home, has a wife at home. He has his father who's going through his medical conditions. Everybody that's associated with that Russell clan. They was taught, you could tell they was taught right. They have a cohesiveness that a lot of people yearn for in their family. You know what I'm saying? But a warrior understands when the kids have to be fed and they can project that money, ching, 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 getting things paid. I have to step in this ring other than honorable conditions. You know what I'm saying? I have to go in this on this battlefield in other than honorable conditions. It's going to be tough. This is not the terrain I was wishing to go fight on right now. You know, my physical structure is a little damaged. You know what I'm saying? But I got to go do what I got to do, and that's what he did. I'm saying I know there's so many conspiracies out there that it was a setup and so forth. And look, you might be right. It might have been a setup due to his inactivity. He wants some new faces on deck. Okay. But how do you stop something from being set up? First of all, you have to know you're being set up, right? On the other side, if you know you're being set up and you still walk in there, then you need the money. If that injury was something that was discussed prior to the final docs being signed, and that person went off and signed and said, you know, I'm gonna do it anyway, regardless. I don't know what the conversation was. I don't know what the sidebars, how long they lasted. I don't know if they said, you know, if you don't take this fight, we're gonna strip you. I don't know, whatever the case may be. But I'm just look at it like I'm glad he stepped in the ring. He has a paycheck to pay his people, his family, you know, feed his family, and then think about the next fight. I'm not too interested in seeing him return back to the square and face Mark Masayo. The reason being is they never got a rematch with Lomachenko. First of all, you can go out of order now. If you want to fight at 135, go see Lomachenko. All right, go fight for Vasily Lomachenko. If you have for me to choose on the two of these fighters, I'm definitely choosing Lomachenko right off the rip because both of these cats can box, and they're not the biggest boxers in the game. So therefore, I'm like, yeah, that'd be a good fight. Forget Masayo. Let him go on his whatever he got going on and try to defend his belt and try to unify whatever. He's not one of those fighters that I was on the edge of my seat for. I wasn't even standing up. You know, I was multitasking. I wasn't even, tuned in like that. I was giving him my partial attention. You know what I'm saying? I just then I was like, this guy, they look like they want to look like Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Because the Filipinos will support their upcoming fighters, but this guy did not look stellar against a one-handed fighter. Early on in the round, before Gary Russell made adjustments, Russell kept getting on the inside. He just thought, okay, I'm just gonna counter him because he is quicker than me. Masayo knew Russell was quicker than he was. So that's why he was trying to stick him with that dang right uppercut early on in the fight. And Russell made the adjustment. He was like, okay, he that's all he got. He's pretty much trying to shoot that damn uppercut off all the time. What was the jab? Was the jab on suspended license? Did the jab have a boot on it? Huh? Was the jab down in county? Did the jab have a flat? I'm just trying to find out. This guy is so highly praised and everything. What happened to the jab? What happened to the fundamentals? Dude, you was just every now and then letting some combos go because this is what you did, Masayo. You pretty much saw that you had a wounded fighter. On top of knowing that somebody probably whispered in your ear, just go to the bell, you good. Just make it to the bell. So all of us are sitting back here asking, why isn't Masayo have a sense of urgency to get in and try to do damage to Gary Russell? There's a lot of things you can talk about. Like you could say, one, he wasn't confident. You know what I'm saying? He started to see Gary Russell's ring IQ play out in front of him. And he said, I don't think I really, truly want to be a part of this right now. I'm going to find my center and I'm going to do about face. And somebody called me an Uber. You know what I'm saying? He retreated from that internally. And then the next, you look at him, he's like, shit, if I fight my fight with Gary, That's going to give him more time to counter me. That's going to give him more opportunity to figure me out, even with one hand. So instead of him trying to work behind the jab and run into that left hand, he just decides to play peekaboo, dart in, dart out. He started to, basically attack with small windows. Small windows. He's not going to stay inside too long. He's going to get in, get out. Go back to his rhythm when he bounced on his toes. Go back to his rhythm. Boom. He'll try to, press it a little bit, walk, shuffle, and then throw a punch combination, back up on his toes, dance. Look at the fight. It's someone like he's a rhythm fighter. He has that in his head so much. He does it without even knowing he's doing it. But anyway, I think, he was going to win that fight regardless. If it went to the distance, it would go to the distance and Gary would lose because they want a fresh face in there. I mean, it's not like people are with their chest out weight. Hey man, what's going on with the featherweight division? It's an inferno down there, man. That shit's Hell's Gate right now. It's so hot. For real. What's going on with 26? Nobody's doing that. But hopefully they have a Filipino fighting Mark, and they think they can go some places with him because he got the look. So, let's see how that works, man. I mean, we'll see how that works for him. For Gary, like I said, get the surgery. I hope everything work out for you. And I look at it like your skills are not going to diminish. The man came back and proved once again, just like Dominique Cruz say in mixed martial arts over there at the UFC. He said ring rust is nothing. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't exist. Only the people who set in their mind, they've been off that long, that refuse to stay in the gym and stay conditioned, they worried about ring rust, right? Look how long Russell was out of the damn square, man, and came back and put in 12. Like, dude is different. G. Russell is different, dog. He came off. Come on, man. Who does that, bro? Who goes in there and put in that work, injures themselves, basically revisit an already pre-existing injury, and he still fights. He don't cower down. He don't say, "Oh, fuck the fans. I'm on the ropes." He was actually trying to stay in there and get in and touch Masayo, man. Embarrassing. I think people really should look at that fight just like they look at Floyd and Canelo. It was education to be learned in that. It was very educational. You have this big name fighter, with the support of his country, who's an avid boxing fans over there in the Philippines, right? Avid boxing fans. And he's not walking through Russell, first of all, with two hands. But then, everybody's factoring in the point on him having a hard weight cut. And then he already put it out there. He had an injury. So somebody asked me the other day about medicals. I say, listen, if anyone listening understands how this works, these two fighters wasn't the only people that was involved with making fights happen. They wasn't. So being that there's a other collective team of individuals who make this fight happen, a lot of people probably knew Gary Russell had an injury. When he did medicals, the doctor who was checking him out probably knew he had an injury, but they didn't ask him about, hey, what did you say in the media? You said you had an injury. Gary got the information. He has the orders for whatever. He let people know already he had an injury, but he's still taking the fight. He was half a pound off, right? It was a lot of conversation going on. Believe me, people, it was a lot of conversation going on leading up to that fight. Gary dropped the news before the fight took place that he had an injury, but he ain't gonna tell you where. Then you get people asking about medicals. This is a perfect example on not to put too much of your total faith in procedures that you believe there's just protocol for these big fights. Where there's a will, there's definitely going to be a way. You talk about the commission, judges, and the ref. You talking about the promoter. You talking about certain individuals that go off. I told you I rolled on one of the biggest dinners. I rolled up on one in the shadows. through the blinds. I rolled up on one of those dinners. I did. I did in Vegas at the MGM out fishing. I did. Believe me, I tried so bad to take a picture of who was at that table. But when I took my picture out to took my phone out to take a picture with Dylan White, somebody that you know very well say, don't snap a picture. After that, y'all know him. He's the head of one of the premier networks out here. I just saw some people through the curtains. Man, it was good and late, but I say, damn, how many people at the table? I'm up here doing a drive-by turn, and I say, okay, there go Dillian White. Oh shit, there go him. There go them. Oh shit, I wonder what the fuck they was talking about. That was like finding a clam with about 10 pearls in it. I done told this story before, but anyway, let me get back on topic. I really hope that Gary Russell make the decision not to revisit the 126-pound division for Masayo. I really want him to move up to 130. And like I said, put the glove and knock the dial of Chris Colbert hair and shit. Whether it's tangerine, fuchsia pink, motherfucking cotton candy orange, god damn it. That'll be a good fight for him to pick up a belt. Go take Chris Colbert if he win his belt at 130, that G Russell. Leave that damn 26 division alone. People know that. Look, people know Gary for the wrong reason for that 126-pound featherweight division. For the wrong reason. You know what I'm saying? Though he reigned for over 6 years, I get it. But now you being known to be at just that position, but yet people have heard you talk. A lot of us believe what you say, but right now they know you getting older and they really want to see you, step in there and fight somebody that's equal to your skill set or greater. That's what we want. That's exactly what we want, G Russell. But salute to Gary Russell for putting in a close performance. I'm gonna be honest with you. With my opinion, I couldn't sit up here and say that after looking at the fight over and over again, I didn't think he won the fight like that. Like I said, I would have been cool with the draw. You know what I'm saying? But if he did, it would be still a close fight. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, still a close fight. I mean, close fight can be anything, but I just thought it would have been a close fight. The reason why I'm not saying he won the fight, because I know the judges, a lot of judges that sit ringside, they're not as enthusiastic to prove to anyone on how they grade their boxing matches. I've seen them, I've seen them out to eat with certain people. I've seen them how they do this, that, and they there and they know what their job is. And it's really not a garrulous type of intervention that's going on to make sure everybody knows what they should be doing. So I don't know the scope of how these judges grade. Are they really entertained and respecting what they're seeing from Gary Russell Jr.? Or according to the other judges, are they looking at the more active fighter in Masayo and how he's moving? You know what I'm saying? They know. Look, this is the thing. They know that Masayo is a little bit of favor right now. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of favor that's going on with this dude. They trying to push him very hard. Yeah. You think judges don't know that? Absolutely they do. They know who Gary Russell Jr. is. They know who Masayo. They know them. They also know who they're trying to push right now. Who has the fresh, younger face? Who has the momentum behind them with people who love to tune in and support their fighters? That's the Philippines. Absolutely no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Hands down, point blank. They have fight parties like no other. Filipinos will have almost like, I can't even put it as a Thanksgiving dinner. I've been to a Filipino fight party where they had like 15 dishes. That's with different people. We ain't gonna talk about the lumpia. We're not even talking about like, goddamn, you can go to a house party and I'm not a house party, fight party, and just eat the lumpia alone with the right drink. That shit is delicious. But man, nobody does it like the Philippines. So, you got the Filipino people support Mark. And I would think he had to do enough to take the belt. And I don't think he did. I think he was, moving his body. He was moving his hands, but he was lazy. His effort was lethargic, man. Like he didn't put forth that A-level freaking performance that we would expect somebody from him, especially from the Philippines. And you got Manny Pacquiao, and that's obviously, y'all went up there and grabbed some DNA to try to scope your body like Manny Pacquiao. I swear to God, shit. Somebody did some in vitro for real, but I hope he make the right decision, man. And we can move on past that. We can move on past that and see him in 130, 135. Let me get to some of these chats. Man, hit the like button in the building. Appreciate you. That fight could be a draw. I think Tank will put Russell down. But in the beginning, it was favoring Gary. I look at it like this. I understand what you're saying. You think he can put him down, but look at Isaac Cruz. I don't think he has the best power. I don't think he has more power than Rolly. But his defense and his offense, is much more close knit and compressed than Rolly. He's much more disciplined, and he was able to go. You know what I'm saying? He was able to go the distance with Tank. So you're looking at the size of Gary Russell. Well, just take Isaac Cruz, and why don't you insert or inject some Gary Russell defense on the Isaac Cruz? It really would have been interesting because Isaac Cruz has very limited defense. He's very minimal when it comes to elusiveness, but his damn tight, his guard, the way he protect his ribs, the way he put that, wear the phone, his shit is tight. He's been working, man. And just look at how Gary, the pluses in Gary, man, what he would go in there and dance to on that night against Gervonta. It'll be a whole different look for Isaac Cruz now. It'll be a whole different look. Plus, let's not forget that, Gary got some of the fastest hands. We know he was hurt, but still, man, dude has some fast hands, dog. That ain't going nowhere anytime soon. I think he need the money. He was gone for 2 years. Yeah, straight up. I said, man, he got to feed his family, dog. So from my understanding, he was paid $500, right? He's paid $500, right? Andrew Charles on deck, man. I see you. What's good? I don't think Gary was robbed. He was doing really good later in the fight for only having one arm. He started to slow. I had him down before the injury became apparent. Like I said before, I don't look at it as him, absolutely being robbed. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was freaking just straight up verbal, give me your money, or it was armed robbery. Either or, you know what I'm saying? I think it was a close fight. I think Masayo was pretty perplexed early on in the fight. He had to respect Gary's speed. When he started unloading on those power punches and Gary wasn't there, he was like, oh shit, this motherfucker's quick. And then the lesson that he continued to receive when the arm was hurt pretty much made Masayo just retreat. He stayed in company. All right, he stayed in company, but he didn't do much, bro. He didn't do much. He just pretty much moved around, like they say in spar. He moved around. He went in there, went through the motions a little bit when he wanted to them unleash a punch combination. And then he'll go back in rhythm. Same shit, dog. Very insipid type of fight. Masayo ain't the next Pac-Man either. He should have pressed Russell a lot harder. Yeah, man. They think all you need is a headband, the goddamn, the sharp razor cut on the edge up to the box, have some big calves and shit. Of course, be from the Philippines, and goddamn come either look, just a minute similarity. Oh my God. Jim Lampley. Oh my God. The Phenom is reincarnated. Mark Masayo is the new Manny Pacquiao. That's just Jim Lampley. If he was saying that, he'd be up there convincing the fans. There's no way we would have thought that we would see another Manny Pacquiao. We just witnessed a legend retire and his successor return. This is, what I'm saying? Jim Lampley would have hyped that shit up just like Gennady Golovkin. Man, anyway, man, I have to keep it moving. Deontay Wilder, man. Deontay Wilder's been out the ring for quite some time. Let me take this thumbnail down. Let me take the thumbnail down. Okay. If you're in the building, do me a favor. I need a big favor each and every time you in here, man. Each and every time that you in the building, please hit the like button, man. Do me that favor. If I'm gonna have 10 in the building, give me 10. Give me 10 on deck. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want. The bronze bomber himself, Deontay Wilder, has been out the square since September 2021, which is absolutely, that's small change. You know what I'm saying? He was in one of the most epic heavyweight fights on the tail end of what turned into a trilogy with the top two heavyweights in the sport of boxing. And it really had a lot. When they ever do that documentary on this trilogy, it's a lot. Man, it's a lot of information. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of information to digest out that trilogy on how it all went down in the first fight. Each fight gave you such a heavy storyline. From the first fight being a draw, not too many people, was on one fighter's side more than the other. Some say Fury won, some say Wilder won. Then you went to the rematch, and man, that right there, it has so much, sting to it. Like, you don't have to walk far to gather and collect information on how to write a story. You don't have to walk far to crack them chapters and start, putting them fingers to work and typing up your story. Because the rematch was crazy. You know what I'm saying? You have the entire saga. It went down on who was authorized to throw the towel in, the cheating scandal with Tyson Fury, just the whole aura on how it played out. The separation with the boxing fans, the ones that say, yeah, Fury beat his ass, and then the other ones that's going for Deontay, that he was cheated, he was drugged, and then all the film and all the evidence is out here on social media. And then all the time that was put into the YTC to speak on this subject, all the breakdowns, all the damn compilations, all the film. Like, I couldn't tell you how many slides are out here speaking on that particular fight. One of the most controversial boxing matches in a long time. The only way that shit didn't end up like Panama with Billy Collins and Luis Resto was that Luis Resto, he wasn't smart. He wasn't thinking. You can tell he wasn't about cheating like that on a regular basis. So him knowing that his gloves had been tampered with, he should have never stopped the Billy Collins dad. All he had to do was turn around and go over to his corner, and that would have been the extent of it. But yet he slipped up. He had a lapse in judgment, and he allowed Billy Collins, well, Sr., to touch his gloves and shake his hand. That was Collins' entire point, because he felt like he barely had any padding in there because they looked funny. Same thing with Tyson Fury. The glove looked funny. The glove looked funny. There's a lot that went on in that particular fight that it boiled over with controversy. Like YouTube, all the media that was being spoken on, the live panels, everybody had their own take, But the standing power was that Deontay, he finished the fight in the 7th round on his feet. You know what I'm saying? He was on his feet. So people gave him the benefit of the doubt. Yes, the fight was stopped. Yes, it came from his corner. And then, immediately, Wilder argued the point. Say, I'm okay. I'm good. No, don't stop the fight. What are you doing? I'm good. I was turning punches. I'm good. I mean, it was so many hours and days and weeks that was put in to collecting evidence to speak on this rematch between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. It's just so much out there, man. People was putting heart and soul. I remember looking at some lives, man. Them things was exceeding 8, 12 hours about that. So then, through everything that took place, you know what I'm saying, with the pandemic, expiration of contract and all this other shit is supposed to disappear like David Copperfield, David Blaine, all this other stuff that goes on with trickery. And it didn't. All the meanwhile, Deontay Wilder's in court getting this all settled up, and everything. And then Eddie Hearns and Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, they all setting up different locations to take pictures and try to sell to the people that they're going to fight. And that, the Deontay Wilder fight is what? It's non-existent. It's not going to happen. So Eddie Hearns out here just sparking it up, sending flares up to the people, lying to them. Tomorrow, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, shaking hands. They had agreed to the fight. They have indeed agreed to the fight. They have agreed to the fight. People running with it. Thumbnail. Oh, Tyson Fury. See, these are the same people who understand and knows that Wilder's in arbitration, but they still putting up lives for clickbait. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, they agreed. Deontay Wilder should just take step aside money. Deontay Wilder, his contract is expired. Which one is it? If you take step aside money, that means he's still in the lane. You know what I'm saying? He's still in the lane. He's very important to traffic flow right now. If you're saying take step aside money. But then on the other side, if you're saying it's expired, then it should be a no-brainer that the court will rule against him. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple, but it wasn't. So when it come down to it, the fight turned into another epic fight. Both fighters being knocked down. You know what I'm saying? Facing knockdowns, but in the end, Fury was able to get the stoppage. And one of the topics, upon the rematch is that, of course, Wilder was upset that Mark Breland stopped the fight because that wasn't the orders. But then you listen to what he said. Hey, don't stop the fight. I want to go out on my shield. I'm a warrior. So, hearing him hearing him talk and wear the, African garb and so forth. This brings me to my point right here. He wanted to go out on his shield and it absolutely chaperoned him, right? He went out on his shield as a warrior. He didn't quit. He was tired, exhausted. He didn't quit. He showed his warrior spirit. He represented the tribe that he found out he was a part of with dignity and honor, right? So that's what brings me to this point of my thumbnail with him returning. Deontay Wilder will return to the sport of boxing. He will. Because if I'm looking at it, and it don't take brain surgeons or savants. It doesn't take none of that to figure this out. If you went over there and you represented your tribe in combat, because that's a lot of that happened when it comes to tribes and chiefs. A lot of that happened. You know what I'm saying? And when them when they be competing for the top honor, that male chief who just lost and was defeated, he's absolutely not hanging around no damn tribe with them women. He's not gonna be around there chilling, plotting, scheming. They pretty much, he's banished. He has to go somewhere else. Unless he's gonna lure what chief gonna hang around and do that? Like, let's just say you were a chief and you was defeated. You was dethroned. You think that guy that used to be the chief is gonna hang around? I don't think so. So what I'm trying to get at, I don't see Deontay Wilder going out and just basically sealing the envelope on his boxing career and having Tyson Fury be the very last opponent with 2 losses on his record, all because you made good money. Don't try to feed me that shit. Don't try to feed me that. Cause go back to 18 and 19, he ain't making no money. They say he broke. He damn near goddamn driving for Budweiser again. And then 20, you know how it went. He had the big fight in February. Made good money off that fight. Went all the way through. They ended up fighting at the end of 2021. And that was the trilogy. Made good money off that fight. I don't think Deontay Wilder will allow who he is as a person on the inside, who he's been as a boxer. You know what I'm saying? All the battles he went into where people were saying that he just didn't have what it looked like. They say Deontay didn't have what it's supposed to look like to win that fight. He's just not what we see on the eye test. That's what they were saying. He kept on knocking cats out. Kept on knocking them out. I don't see it. I'm going to tell you right now, as much pride as he got, representing his people, you think he's going to let Tyson Fury to cheat? Tyson Fury? You think he's going to let Tyson Fury be the last man to beat him and he's going off in the sunset because he's a millionaire? If y'all want to sit here and believe that, then go ahead. Go right ahead, man. You go ahead in the traffic. Don't look at the traffic. Turn around, just walk backwards. If you think he's going to let Tyson Fury be the last man to hand him an L, and that's going to be his last fight in the career, y'all are truly goofy. You know this shit ain't going to end like that. I don't need anybody's cosign. I don't need anything. I talk to people too. He's not going to allow Tyson Fury to be the sole proprietor to that shit, the owner, the keeper. He's not going to allow what Canelo did. Canelo has no choice. Canelo got clinicked by Floyd. There's nothing he can do about it. Nothing he can do about it. But when it comes to a fighter being, at the top of the ridge line in the heavyweight division, did what he was able to do to let Tyson Fury, win 2 fights in a row without coming back and fighting somebody. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be Tyson Fury. It can be anybody. It can be Anthony Joshua. It can be Daniel Dubois. It can be Joe Joyce. You know what I'm saying? It can be Robert Helenius. It can be Andy Ruiz, Chris Arreola, Dillian White, Alexander Usyk. It can be any one of them cats. There's plenty of heavyweights out there to fight. It can be Jared Anderson. It could potentially, Mack Truck might be the one to step up. You know what I'm saying? We might get Mack Truck out of ATL to goddamn go up there and get in the ring with the Bronze Bomber. That shit'd be epic, dog. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just talking. But I do believe, I'm telling everybody, I'm pretty confident that he's coming back. Don't let your spirits be broken. I don't let people deter me because I can think for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Deontay Wilder coming back to boxing. He's definitely coming back to boxing. And Tyson Fury is not going to be the last man on this record with a goddamn L beside it. Talking about, damn, Shoot, he made you quit? No, that's not the way he built, bro. I don't think that's the way he's built. Seriously, I don't think so. I'm pretty confident. Anybody who's gonna go over there and find out they're part of a tribe in Africa and they're gonna be outspoken for their people like that, why would he sit up there and let a European fighter or a Brit fighter end his career? That's not gonna happen, people. I've been black all my life. It's not happening. I repeat once again, it's not happening. Deontay Wilder is not going to retire with Tyson Fury being his last fight. Remember, I said it. Remember, I was the one who said it. We're not going to wait around. I'm not going to wait around and sit up here and say, oh, we're not hearing from him. Well, that mean no, it don't mean shit except he's enjoying what he's earned. That's all that. And then in the long run, people should really put it out there that the calendar, come on, the calendar is out there, bro. He will return to the sport sooner or later. And people are going to appreciate him more than what they did when he was undefeated. Watch what I tell you. I'm not saying, look, I'm telling you, bro, he's been to 2 tough fights. Shit gets a little bit weird and deranged when certain audiences vilify a person and that person has to go through the motherfucking adversity. This is a person that was vilified. They didn't like, he didn't fit the boxing structure, his form all wrong, all that shit. He loses, boom. They point fingers at him. We told you Tyson Fury, we told you. They point fingers at him, right? Not only did he not quit and say, you know what, I'm going to do some other shit. Like Deontay Wilder pretty much did back then when he lost the fight in the rematch, or what he doing now. Nobody heard from him. He's just doing what he do. He's calling people in his circle. You know, he's talking to his people. But besides that, he's doing just what he did after the rematch. But the difference is he's coming off a tough fight in February 2021. A tough fight, dog. And he's in court trying to step in for the trilogy. Look, he's in court trying to settle everything and say, you know, I rate a 3rd fight. This is after being stopped at the 7th round by a towel being thrown in the ring. He had to go get it. He had to return back to the square. Plus the money was good. Boom, he go over there and now he gets stopped again. This time it's straight up knockout. So if he was in court after having the worst fight of his career in the rematch against Fury, to go back to that fight, and then to go to that fight of the trilogy and lose to Tyson Fury, who's been that thorn, you know what I'm saying? He's been a good dance partner, though. You know, Luis Ortiz really couldn't resonate into a trilogy or rivalry. Why? Because he knocked him out twice. If Luis Ortiz would have did to Deontay Wilder what Tyson Fury did, you know, in the trilogy, then we'll be talking a little bit different rivalry. We would have had a 3rd fight potentially with Luis Ortiz. Let's just say Deontay Wilder knocks him out in the rematch, then we take it to a trilogy. It could have ended the same. You know? It could have ended that way. But this Tyson Fury deal, man, it fulminated into something really, really special, dog. And just the point that coming off his worst fight in his life, he want to go to court for adjudication. He want to go to arbitration and step in there for a 3rd time with a guy who he lost to badly. Full of controversy. So when I look at this last fight being Tyson Fury on a 2-fight losing streak, nah. Hell no. Nope. Hell no. I say it again. Hell to the no, to the no, no, no. Hell no, no. Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell no. Hey, I don't think the shit is going down like that, people. Listen what I tell you, WCS is trying to tell you. I think for myself, Deontay Wilder's last fight has not been with a loss to Tyson Fury. I repeat, the Bronze Bomber will be back to the ring. He will return. He will return. A black man like that who speak up for his people, right? And he feels empowered to be in that position to do so. Then guess what? You think he's going to let Tyson Fury has the last say? So no, he's going to come back and fight somebody else, man. He's not going to leave that visual into the fans like, oh, shit. You know, when it comes down to it, Max, I still think back at the heavyweight trilogy where Tyson Fury retired Deontay Wilder. You remember that, Max? Yeah, I do, Charlie. It's been such a long time, but it seems like it's just on the front side of our memory like it was yesterday. A trilogy that no one seen coming. I'm telling you, man, there's mugs. There's no way. There's no way. Believe that. The man has too much pride. There's no freaking way. Nobody's not gonna goddamn befuddle me, bamboozle, you know what I'm saying, badoodle. It's not gonna happen. Deontay's last fight is gonna be up the line whenever he comes back and fight maybe 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? I can say 2 minimum. He's gonna come back and fight twice minimum because he's still a top 2 heavyweight, top 2, 3 heavyweight. That's just the way it is. You can't throw him outside the top 3 heavyweight just because he hasn't fought since September. I mean, October, you know, it hasn't been that long, man. October, November, December, going on 4 months. It hasn't even been that long, man. Just take a, you know, people love doing screenshots on here. Just take a look at that box rec. Take a look at it. This is why I know Deontay Wilder's returning to the sport, y'all. This is why I know for an absolute fact. Because when you look on his record, you look at Deontay Wilder's record, his boxing record. He fought in the 2 memorable heavyweight fights. He fought Tyson Fury in a rematch, February 22nd, 2020, a TKO in the 7th round. Red. Deontay Wilder was 42-0-1. He picked up that loss in the 7th round, and then he has a match coming out of arbitration in court. He comes off the toughest fight of his life and steps in there October 2021. He gets stopped in the 11th round. Both of those losses right there are in the color red. All right? Red are flags. They catch the attention of people because it's always something attached with it. That's absolutely not right. You know what I'm saying? In Japanese, they say dame anatagata. Bad you are. You see 2 L's, 2 red L's. Come on, y'all smart. Man, y'all motherfucking smart. February 22nd, 2020, and October 9th, 2021. Nobody's going to convince me that Deontay Wilder, someone who speaks up the way he is, outspoken, he's going to allow 2 L's to stay on his record into eternity and get out of shape and never return to the ring and get a win. No, not when you went to Africa and you settled in your tribe. And no. It's not happening. It's not happening, people. You in with a TKO and a KO on your record? Nope. It's not happening. I'm telling everybody out there, don't believe that Deontay Wilder is retired. All it's going to do is good for thumbnail mania. You know what I'm saying? If you want one person to focus in on one particular thing dealing with Deontay Wilder, which is called monomania, definitely do not believe that he's retired. I'm not going to say I'm betting everything and all that. I don't have to bet. This is an easy one. He's not gonna damn have those 2 L's on his record until he got down my age. And people say, "Oh, you ever think about an exhibition with Tyson? You know, you got to go clean up that L. You got 2 L's on the backhand. You got to get an exhibition. You understand, Deontay? You got to get an exhibition." It's not going to be like that. It's not going to be a conversation like this. Them exhibitions, they've really grown. I never thought they'll be so popular. You sure you don't want to call up Tyson? I heard the last time he was like 680 pounds. They seen him at the local pub. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be like that, people. You're not going to have conversations in the cookouts and chilling on the boat, wherever they may be. And people pop the question up, hey, you ever thought about, putting some green on the back end of that? Green always look nice. You can have a little sprinkles of pepper. You know what I'm saying? That red pepper in between there. But as long as you end it with the green, get that dub. Let's get the W. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get another W or 2. I promise you that. Deontay Wilder know it. His team know it. His manager know it. Shelly knows it. He's coming back for another good 2 fights with a nice little paycheck. He already has the bar now. He has the monetary bar. So you can't say, he don't get paid no more. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get paid regardless. So it just have to be with a name. Boom. He's going to pick up the bag, step out, chill for a little bit. Boom. Go back for another one, pick up another bag. His shit is never going to digress right now. He's done. His monetary bar is up there now. Stepping in there with Ortiz and Tyson Fury, two of the baddest heavyweights in the game. Man, come on. Of course we want to see him, Deontay fight Anthony Joshua. Of course, man. Of course we want to see that shit. That's a no-brainer right there, Shouty. It's a no-brainer. Let me get to these chats. Silent King on deck, man. What it do, bro? DBMH on deck. I see you. Salute WCS. Salute to y'all. Knockout Boxing. 86 TV on deck. What's good with it, bro? Salute to you, WCS. Appreciate you. I didn't even know you didn't even have a wrench, man. I didn't even know. I didn't even know you had didn't have a wrench. Made you keep boxing on deck. What's good? Chad Perez. Salute. Mark Nash. I see you. Oh, there you go. You good. You good. That's one of them titanium wrenches too, man. Use at your own risk. Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant would have been overly dramatic. Man, you ain't never lied, Noel. Shout out to Noel on deck. Man, come on. Nobody hyped up a damn mysterious, transparent ghost when Casper was in there with Gennady Golovkin. We didn't see Gennady do any of what Lampley was talking about. I say, he must be motherfucking coked out. What the fuck? This dude, is he sober? Gennady just landed a 15-punch sledgehammer, crushing blow to the back. His opponent will never be the same. EMT, they need to be here. I mean, that's Jim Lampley, bro. Gennady, boy, he used to love having Jim Lampley ringside. Wilder Joshua makes a lot of sense to me. I still want to see Ruiz in the mix too. I want to see Ruiz or Joshua. I don't think boxing at this point in time, the way PBC is going with putting all these fights on PPV, I think we definitely may see Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua in the future. You know what I'm saying? That will make a whole lot of money right now. Yeah, that make pretty good money right now because it's a storyline, but everything. It's nothing else Wilder has to prove. It's nothing else Tyson Fury has to prove. Both of them are proven right now. Just think about Joshua, bro. Joshua lost to Ruiz, came back and won, and then he's went on a decline because now he goes in there and he loses his titles again in a bad way to Alexander Usyk. So guess what? Just like the people wanted to see freaking Deontay Wilder lose, they want to see Joshua get knocked the fuck out by Wilder. Because a lot of people that was giving Joshua all that credit back in 2018 and 19. I mean, when they was talking real greasy, right? They was disrespectful. They act like they didn't have no home training or manners. They was just being absolutely right now. Joshua's in that position. Why? Because he lost again. They saw Frank Bruno all over again. Get him out of here. Get that guy out of here. He's a fraud. Get him out of here. Lock the door behind him. That's what they're saying about Joshua. Look, you have more people cheering for Deontay Wilder than Anthony Joshua Day was to fight at the end of this year, 23. Because people see Joshua as this coddled giant that they chaperoned and ushered into the heavyweight limelight very, very carefully. You know what I'm saying? Very careful. And it worked out for a little bit. But now I'm pretty sure the UK fans is like, I'm not really feeling this guy. I'm not going to waste no money on him. You know what I mean? I have the funds, but as Anthony Joshua, I'd rather sit here and break glass in my own home. His chin is just that fragile. I'm looking forward to one of those fights, Deontay Wilder knocking out Joshua. Or like Andrew said, Andy Ruiz, Dillian White. Cannot never take Dillian White out of the equation. Him and Deontay Wilder gotta run that. I'd definitely like to see that before it's all over with. For real. I'd definitely like to see that. I would definitely like to see that right there. Andy Ruiz, Dillian White, you know what I'm saying? Anthony Joshua, Jared Anderson. I like to see even the U.S. fighters fight one another. But of course, it may not never happen, but that'll be good. I mean, you want to step up to the plate? Just look at it this way. I'm not hating. Manny Pacquiao just stepped in there with Denis Ugas. And look, Ugas has a win over Manny Pacquiao on his resume, but his resume isn't as good as Keith Thurman, who took his first L with Manny Pacquiao. But they're going to give him all the plaudits because he went in there and beat Manny Pacquiao. The same thing. You have heavyweights just getting older now. You got Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. You have all these fighters who's getting old, and the changing of the guard is going down. Joshua still has some time. Alexander Usyk has time. Daniel Dubois, they have time. The Joe Joyces, not so much. Dillian White, not so much. Now, I think Dillian White is still fairly decent. He might be good. But you know what I mean, right? We got the Philippe Herkovics coming up. You know what I'm saying? Babic. Wilder Joshua makes sense. I read that. Showtime, Shaw News on deck. What it do, bro? What's good with you? Real Media, Scotty World Combat Sports with that Rick interview. You got the sauce now. And they call Captain Chaos a troll. I got the sauce. Shout out to Captain Chaos, man. Shout out to Captain Chaos, man, for the jewel. I appreciate people who do something for you and you didn't ask them to. I appreciate that, man. That shit right there means a lot, man. Real talk. Because I do it for other people. It means a lot when people do and you didn't ask them to do it. For real. It means everything. Major Key Boxing, shout out on deck. What's good? Chad Perez say, World Combat Sports, salute to you. Mark Nash breaking beats. on deck. Wilder never has to fight again, especially if he made good investments. Property is cheaper in Alabama. Wilder probably bought a city block. Look, I agree with everything you just said. I never said he was broke. What I don't delve into, right, is basically pocket watching or patting the motherfucker down, trying to see how much money he has. No way. We know he made good money. Whatever he chose to do with that money is him. But I'm saying boxing wise, you know what I'm saying? History, bookmarks. You ain't trying to have a bookmark, 2 L's with a bookmark against one of the most controversial opponents you had in your lifetime. One who you accuse of having something in his gloves that damaged your facial structure. That's personal shit. You know what I'm saying? With all the history behind it, there's no way, no how, bro. Just because you got millions, a black man ain't gonna, no. He's not gonna leave that up there like that. It's not, man. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I'm putting it out there to the world, y'all. Deontay Wilder will return back to the ring. Just hang around. I don't know. But he's coming back to the ring, though. Tate was spazzing on some chump ass writer earlier today, lying on a pimp's name. Well, he was talking about WBN. You know how it goes. You know, whatever. Look, people spaz out over here all the time, man. It's no different over there. You know, we're talking about one of the more popular boxers in the sport. Of course, the situation that went on with Tyson Fury and all the controversy. You know what I'm saying? The back and forth verbal sparring in the media. Yes, sir. I mean, come on. Of course somebody's gonna do an article on whoever. It's up to them to try to talk bad about whoever they can talk about over there. I mean, that shit happens on here. That shit happens on here every day. Somebody spazzing out on somebody. You know what I'm saying? That happens on YouTube all the time, man. So media is media. If this is supposed to be media in YTC, it happens over here and it happens on their platform. It just comes down to the point where how true is the content? You know what I'm saying? Is your criticism warranted based off what you have observed yourself, or is just something that you are, clouding someone's judgment or opinion with biased information? Because, both of y'all don't like the individual. So therefore, you heard everything that happened in the media. You heard how he was talking to Team Fury. So y'all didn't like that. So you're going to put an article out there. That's easy. That's easy. Where I can do that shit tomorrow. People think people don't read your shit. But if you have all this shit all over the place, people going to get a hold of your content. You won't believe. Just putting out tweets about the BJJ tournament. People reach out to you and say, damn, I mean, appreciate you putting this BJJ stuff out there. We love the exposure. You know what I'm saying? But worldcombatsports.com, you rarely hear me put my website out there. Worldcombatsports.com been up in a minute. Interviews out there, all that shit. Since the pandemic, it's been a little slow, but worldcombatsports.com out there. World Combat Sports Facebook page, it's out there. World Combat Sports group, it's out there. I even got a boxing group called All Hands Boxing. It's out there, y'all. IG World Combat Sports, and then Twitter's World Combat Spo 1. It's out there. I run all this shit on my own. All the articles I have on my website is what I did voluntarily. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I used to write for a magazine briefly until I found out that, why am I going to sit up here and be a couch potato and have to be, bedded down to meet a quota? And then why do I have to write about some fighters that I'm not trying to talk about them like that per se. So everything has an agenda. You know that you think these magazines and these media, no, they have an agenda, dog. They edit your shit. Some of them. If you're talking about a fighter that's really, they really support now. Don't get it twisted. That's just real life. The UK people look the UK people over there was got a hold of me quick. That's when I was on Facebook and I didn't do it. They wanted me to start talking about Joshua, you know what I'm saying, boosting them up. They want me to start doing articles, and they was gonna grab my articles and post them over there on the UK scene. Yeah. Yeah. That's before this YouTube was really kicking like that. I used to be on Facebook writing articles for different groups. Yeah, the UK, before anybody on YouTube can say, they came and tried to holler at me way before this YouTube shit was popping. I used to be doing Facebook lives, hardly anybody on there, and then they'll pop up, and then they start shooting DMs. Hey, you do this, and this, and you're boxing, and they knew I supported Deontay Wilder. They say, well, we want you to come, this, and this. We'll pay you this. So I was like, no. That's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Well, you just think about it. That's all they always put it out there. You just think about it, okay? We'll come back to you. And then I look around YouTube, I see some of these black channels, right? Because what they wanted to do, they wanted to find black media, right? But a lot of black media on Facebook didn't write articles, right? So they wanted to find someone who can actually put out some press over here that they didn't really have to go through all the red tape. So I saw another black on Facebook. I was like, oh my God, they got a hold of him. What they did, they found him in the alley and snatched him up. Said, hey man, we need some black media. I need for y'all over here in the US to talk about Anthony Joshua. So at that time, the movement was for, UK media. Like I have contacts in my phone, man. 4 people over there. UK media wanted to how you put it, not like a covert type of deal, but you know how you begin to see the tide rise without seeing it rise. Like how far you went out there and you were still on sand before you actually touched water, right? But you see the tide. They try to roll that swell. They try to bring that swell in sneaky and take over Facebook because Facebook was heavy. Facebook was heavy at that time. So they wanted a lot of black media channels to just start miscellaneous doing lives on Facebook talking about UK fighters. But the real ones, like the articles and shit like that, they was gonna pay good money. For real, they was ready. They say, well, you get your money, this, and this. We want this article, just submit this, and that. All right. It's not gonna happen. I'm just letting you know how it went down, bro. Wilder still beats 99% of the heavyweights in the game. Arum greasy ass already trying to use Wilder's name to promote Jared Anderson. I like that. He's promoting the kid, but Fury is right there on top rank. Look at this, Mitch. You smart, right? Why would Bob Arum talk about Fury? This right there. You know what I'm saying? He know. Look, check this out, Mitch. I know where you're going with it. In-house fight, right? But check this out. Bob Arum knows that Jared Anderson can't whoop Fury. Bob Arum knows better than to say, oh, Jared Anderson will potentially face Tyson Fury at the end of the year. People are going to be like, bang, bang, bang. That shit ain't happening, bro. He going to get knocked the fuck out. Bob Arum won't put that out there. But I like him using Wilder name. Fuck it. Why people so sensitive, man? Why can't he use the man's name? He's out of the sport. Ain't nobody heard of him. Bob Arum doing him a favor. Attaching him to another black fighter on the rise in the heavyweight division. What's wrong with that? It's free publicity. And you know what, people? That shit happens on YouTube every single day. You know who's doing it? Us. I don't care how many super chats you get. You're still working for free compared to the hours, the labor that you put in to speak on these lives, to study the content. You put in countless of hours on here. And then check this out, people. A lot of y'all got them families on deck. You got to go to work, come home, be with your family, study your boxing shit, set the stream up, and talk to the people. You're not relocating to an office building. This is going on right in your resident, people. So yeah, the labor is intensive, man. The labor is extremely intensive, bro. That's what we do. So yeah, Deontay Wilder facing Jared Anderson at the end. Good. Look, I'm gonna tell you how that ain't bullshit. I'm gonna tell you how I'll salute Bob Arum and that stance right there. Because how much have you heard that wasn't even close to being true lately? Come on, let's just go through it. How many fights have you heard that wasn't true? Like the Ryan Garcia situation. How many times did he pull your down the slingshot? He said, "Move up a little bit more, a little bit closer," and he had that pebble in that motherfucking slingshot. He pulled that shit back. He let it go, pow, right in your forehead. And you watch that hematoma just swell up. Ryan Garcia was good for that. What about some fights that they saying that was fantasy fights, like Conor Benn? Conor Benn had mentioned Kell Brook and Amir Khan. Conor Benn has mentioned freaking Adrian Broner. Conor Benn, is now mentioned Maurice Hooker. All over the fucking place, y'all. What happened when Jerron Ennis news popped out? I tell you, y'all need to just read through 3 sources minimal. When people be putting out this thumbnail, Jerron Ennis is fighting Virgil Ortiz. How? That's not happening. It's not happening right now. It's not happening. What other fights we have? You know what I'm saying? Oscar Valdez fighting Emmanuel Navarrete over and over and over again. And then behind the scenes, they already talking up Shakur Stevenson. But on the surface of the media, they still talking Emmanuel Navarrete. Boom. Drop the news. Shakur Stevenson facing Oscar Valdez. They was already talking about it. They was already talking about it. Kambosos has all the titles at lightweight except one. He tells us da 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 blah 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 da da da. People, anything to promote the fight. If Bob Arum want to continue to say the same thing about Jared Anderson being a potential opponent, that builds up the interest of Jared Anderson. When people see him, they can say, hey, Big Baby, real big, can you come on here? Are you going to fight Deontay, man? You mind if I record you? Can I get this? You know what I'm saying? That's what it's going to be. They're going to say, are you fighting Deontay? Man, that's huge, dog. Damn, that's a huge fight for you already. What they want to do is like, hey, all respect, are you ready? That's what they're going to say. Are you ready? Bro, you think you're ready? Free promo. Do it. Free promo, dog. Free promo. Get it in. Let's go. You see it all the time, man. You hear that so-and-so is going to fight this person, that person. And then when it finally is announced, what happened? It's totally opposite than what we've been hearing on the media. Totally opposite, bro. Ruiz win the fight easy, but every time Areola hit him, he was ready to fall. Wilder was seriously hurt Ruiz, especially skinny Ruiz. I say this, that King Mitch. I put it like this. When it comes down to Andy Ruiz, with all the money he made in those 2 fights, where's he at right now? Where's he at right now? Still fighting, right? Because we all know Andy Ruiz spent his money handsomely the first time. And then he came back knowing he had that big check coming. Boom, he rolled back through. He picked up another check. Pac-Man ATL on deck. What's good? Wilder will return to the sport of boxing, Pac-Man. That's period. That's period. He ain't done. It ain't no if Wilder never returns, then what type of situation. he's going to return, period. Bookmarked alive. Deontay Wilder will return to the sport. Bookmarked alive. Happy birthday, bro. So you believe it's his pride that won't let him retire to two losses to Fury? Come on, Mark. You think he's going to allow Tyson Fury to retire him? After all the controversy, all of a sudden that's swept under the rug, right? All the hoopla hayla that went on with all the countless hours put in, all the accusations. You know what I'm saying? All the scrutiny placed on the controversy. You think he's going to allow him to be the topic of his life when he retire? It's not going to just be outside with his loved ones. It's going to be amongst boxing talk. You know, when he finally retires, he gets in his 45, he gets around his mid 40s and 50s. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. People going to be talking about that. Heavyweights will always be the topic of discussion in boxing. They will always be the topic of discussion. And who are they talking about right now as we speak? We don't know who the hell. We don't hear shit about the heavyweight right now. But when this was going on with Wilder Fury, everybody was talking about it. When it was going on with Luis Ortiz, everybody was talking about it. When Anthony Joshua was undefeated, everybody was talking about it. Everybody was wondering when Joshua was going to step back in the ring. They wanted to see after what he looked like against freaking Vladimir Klitschko, will he look like that as he continued to move up the chain? And we saw what happened with Joseph Parker. That's the first time he went the distance. That was the beginning of the end for Joshua. Real talk. Because he picked up the WBO title, that was the beginning of the end. Because why? I mean, he showed that he can go the distance, and he's not that stupid, dangerous fighter. Even though he has knockouts, those are fighters that that his style is tailor-made to. But he's a flat-footed fighter, man. Sheet, we here on deck. What's good? Well, if it's said like that, Mark, then I can understand. But I know how the man really feels. And if that man comes back now, shit won't end well. And nobody said nothing about him coming back now. I never mentioned NOW. But flip that over. He will come back for a win or two. He ain't gonna let Tyson Fury be the gatekeeper of his career. He's not gonna be the last testament. He's not gonna allow Tyson Fury to be the last testament of his career with 2 losses, and that's gonna be the conversational piece. It's not gonna happen, bro. Not from any tribe I've read up on. It's not happening, bro. It's not happening. I'm telling you, Tay, that shit ain't happening like that. Anderson never fought anybody in the top 15, but yet, what else is new? It's true. Jerry Anderson versus Tyson Fury, probably the fight. Jerry Anderson stopped Fury in camp. I heard that. I doubt in boxing matches, a lot of people that got rocked in sparring. But when in a boxing match, you got to deal with different. You just have to deal with a whole different setting. If he was rocking them in sparring and everything, well, they should be able to make that fight happen sooner or later, man. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury looking to retire too. So guess what? It'll be good if they could get a fight where it's a changing of the guard. That'd be hard for me to think that Tyson Fury, but sometimes I say, okay, he don't really give a damn about that. So if he leaves with 1 loss, cool. But then another part of me said, I think Tyson Fury want to leave the sport undefeated. For real. So him passing that torch to Jerry Anderson in a loss, I don't see it happening, man. You know what I'm saying? Only if he gets back on the nose candy, it might. If he gets back on the nose candy, it might happen. Even in his boots, handlers know it's a bad business move to put him in there with Crawford and Spence. Hey, Bozy said it best. He said he understands the business. Bozy Ennis is a smart man. He says he understands Crawford, going for the money. He understands. Why wouldn't he understand, man? Why wouldn't he? He understands what boxing is about. Or was that just smoke and mirrors to brainwash the sheep? If you're talking about, I think you're talking about Gary Russell robbed. I put a question mark at the end. I'm basically addressing a question to the audience. That's all. I don't put Gary Russell robbed and don't put any type of suffix on. Like, what are we talking about? I need to let them know that I'm not saying, oh well, I feel he was robbed and all that. I just put a question mark. Talk to me. What do you think? Do you think he was robbed or not? Tell Wilder goddamn drop that track. Shit. Free Hoover on deck, man. I see you at WCS. Salute, bro. Salute to you, man. Dion, what is good? Man, shout out to Dion Washington over there in Alabama. You know what I mean? Commend this brother, man. Doing big things in the community. Shout out to you, bro. I salute you for what you do, man, in life. You know what I'm saying? You're doing big stuff over there, man. We're not talking about whether you think Wilder got whooped or not, or none of that shit. We're not talking about none of that. We're not talking about, what your opinion is on how the fight went. And none of that. It's already public record. We're talking about the potential of him returning back to the square. You know what I'm saying? No man I know that's gonna go check for his tribe in Africa and be that king to his people, to address them and let them know that he's talking up, for them. You know what I'm saying? He's empowering that audience. No way he's going to allow himself to be the subject of 2 losses from Tyson Fury. Not from all the other shit that went on. No, that shit ain't going under the rug. Like, no, you can't. Nobody can just push that on the rug like it wasn't a topic of discussion every damn day when he was in arbitration. When it was a day after February 22nd, 2020, to the last fight. Now that he's been out the ring for a little bit, no, don't sit up here and act like it's all candles and roses and shit. Keep the same energy. Fuck it. Joshua was straight up and down, no special effects. Absolutely. 2-footed. You know what I'm saying? 2-footed. Go to the left, go to the right, to the right. You know what I'm saying? Petman tell you, I'm gonna be acting like Fury. I ain't have to go through hell, man. Shit be bothering me. Russell got hit with this Saturday night special 38 slug as well. Damn. DL say Russell got hit with the Saturday night special 38 snug nose. Damn, dog. I thought the bruise on his eye was more so a headbutt. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a headbutt, dog. But he said the damn Saturday night special 38 snug nose. Damn. But man, looking back at it though, those was fun times, man. It was just an era, a really weird era for the heavyweight division. So look at it this way. Nothing has happened since the trilogy of Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury totally understands that. He don't have a dance partner like Wilder. So he's just waiting around doing nothing, getting fat, and whatever else he got going on. I'm serious. The buzz is minimal. You rarely even hear people talk about the heavyweight division at this point in time. It's nothing to talk about. A lot of people are going to refuse to connect with Oleksandr Usyk, just like Vasyl Lomachenko. You know, if there's a debate on the panel and people got free time to squander, then they'll start talking about, oh, Oleksandr Usyk's one of the best heavyweights right now. He's still green, but he's one. You know what I'm saying? They're giving play. Well, listen, Usyk has a long ways to go. He has to, first of all, defend his title, not against Joshua, because I think he does fairly well against, but he has to fight potentially Tyson Fury to see if he can, become undisputed in his second weight division. Then it changes levels for Alexander Usyk in the eyes of boxing fans. Would they ever gravitate to him as if he's that guy, that number one heavyweight we've been looking for? I don't know. Why? Because he really doesn't speak, to the people like that just yet. He don't speak to the boxing fans. He don't. So it's gonna be difficult for people to talk to him. Hold on for a second. Yeah, we back. We back, man. If y'all don't know already, you didn't check out the thumbnail. And check out my interview with Rick Glaser tomorrow. Check out my interview with Rick Glaser tomorrow, 10 p.m. I'm going to talk to the man himself about several topics. Get some clarification on some things for me and the boxing fan and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm speaking to Rick Glaser tomorrow, 10 p.m. right here, World Combat Sports YouTube channel. Let me see. Appreciate y'all leaving this content in the live chat. Black fighters, Cuban versus Filipinos. If you don't get knocked out, you are not getting decision. You got to know them. You got to knock them out. If Canelo versus Fury would have done what Russell did, they would have carried them out. Hey, man, we know who match up well. Just every now and then you get the Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, or the Marvin Hagler situation. Mike Tyson, Vander Holyfield. Every now and then you get that fight. But most of the time, black fighters have to fight other countries, other ethnicities, man, because it's been put out there from what I heard. Al Heyman had mentioned this allegedly that he feel the black fighters don't sell fighting one another. So you look at a lot of black fighters who you support, they don't fight other black fighters like that on a regularity. They just don't. Look at it. All you gotta do is look at a box rec. Look at their box rec and see how many black fighters they fight in a row when they finally get up in ranked anything, even on the lower scale. I would say right now. Like when you just starting out your career, yeah, you might fight 5 brothers in a row because you're just building your record. It all depends. But if you decent, you decent. You know what I'm saying? If you decent, you probably won't see I mean, if you're a black fighter, you probably won't see a black fighter in a minute. You're gonna fight the Mexicans. You're gonna fight the Mexicans, and then you're gonna fight the Mexicans, and then you're gonna fight maybe a Cuban here, a Puerto Rican, Dominican. You know what I'm saying? Then 12 fights later, you might find a black guy. He might be mixed though. He might be mixed, biracial. You might get to fight him. I mean, seriously, that's how it's gonna play out, man. But yeah, man, y'all keep that bookmark. Keep this live bookmark, man. I told you. I'll tell you ahead of time. Deontay Wilder gonna return to the sport, bro. Real talk. Because this what a lot of people miss. What he brought to the sport. They ain't gonna tell you because they don't look. It's people that will leave the window. They will leave the chat, bringing up his name. You know what I'm saying? But you got to look at it, man. What person did it better when it came to the shock value? What person did it better when it came to the shock value? Right? You know what I'm saying? I know y'all miss it.
Bomb Squad! Bomb Squad!
See, it's maybe, I know it's like 50 of y'all right now that's out there that turn your head. Oh shit, he coming back. Who he fighting? God damn, he back in camp. What we talking about? See, that shit resonated across motherfuckers driving home and shit. Just left the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Didn't want to go home right away because it's Monday. You know how Monday are. You know what I'm saying? They say, damn, dog, Deontay back. Y'all missed that shit. You know what I'm
Bomb Squad!
Let me keep it moving. Let me transition over to the topic at hand. Crawford versus Ugas for Undisputed. Who takes it? This is my take on the huge possibility of Terrence Crawford facing Yordenis Ugas. We all know that the fight is scheduled for some time, okay? We know it's scheduled for April. March, April, wherever they side, dog. We know it's scheduled for that. But we don't know if it's gonna happen. And I think the primary name that's gonna derail that would be Errol Spence. I truly don't think he's ever gonna be the same mechanical boxer that he was able to when he was ballooning up in between camps and dropping the weight. You get these little nagging injuries, when you have soft tissue damage and shit like that. You get these nagging little injuries, man, and then joint manipulation. I'm gonna tell you, if you're going at high speeds and you hit the pavement, not everybody is trained on how to roll with a crash. A lot of people break their arms and legs trying to stand up and post up on the pavement when your body is flying around and flailing around on the pavement. That's how people break limbs, rather than just tucking and rolling. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at the high amount of possibilities for Errol Spence to be in recovery. And when I say recovery, I don't think that's a recovery that's ever going to say come to 100%. I think it's recovery like, okay, if he was to stay out of boxing for a while and really take some time off, then get a good chance, put his body through the rigors of training, see if he's able to hold up. But right now, there's a lot of boxing fans out there that's leaning towards Ugas taking it because people like myself, it's people like myself that's thinking the same thing. They don't believe that Errol Spence is 100% like he was. They don't think he's better version of himself after that accident. They just trying to be nice. Potentially, we might need to perk up and say we might get a Terrence Crawford versus Yordenis Ugas. I'm telling you, this shit is changing. This shit is changing, bro. Like real talk. Like y'all can talk all you want about Terrence Crawford not being in certain positions right now, acting like he's not gonna have a network to fight on, and he don't have no choices whatsoever. He has no, he has no options. That's what they're trying to say, and that's far from the truth. You know that shit. Now we know boxing. Boxing is just like the thumbnail, right? Let me put it back up there. You know, boxing is just like the thumbnail. So when it comes to this Ugas fight, that's what people are thinking like. You know what I'm saying? People are up here praying and wishing that boxing isn't going to try to screw another fighter over. They don't want Yardenas Ugas to lose when he actually performed well and they thought he beat, Errol Spence. They don't want this fight going into the Terrence Bud Crawford fight. See, people are so eager and anxious to get the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight to the point they may potentially overlook what they just seen. You know what I'm saying? Because boxing will, make fighters get on their knees over and over again and say, you know what, I gotta pray. Because I just think it feels funny. Everything about it seems off. You know what I'm saying? Just the whole breeze is different. Something ain't right. And that's what's gonna be Yardenas Ugas concerns heading into this fight with Terrence Crawford. But to be honest, myself, I don't think Errol Spence either one makes it to the fight or he beats Ugas. I don't think so. We'll see. People think he's gonna go in there and run over Ugas. You're sadly mistaken. It ain't happening, bro. People thought, include myself, I thought Gervonta was gonna give Isaac Cruz the quick business, express change. God damn it. Nope, wasn't the case. I mean, what should we think? I don't think. I'm speaking for myself. I don't think Errol Spence is coming off an eye injury. I just don't think he's going to be able to go in there and sustain an elite amount of sparring, so to speak, put in the hours and the hours and the hours with an eye injury. We seen Abner Mares, and everybody thought he was going to come back for a fight, and no. So we don't know the extent of what his eye injury is, because he had other existing situations when he stepped in there to fight Danny Garcia. This is different. This is an eye injury. This is different. So combined with the car accident, the internal injuries he might still be recovering from, and also you look at, his eye injury, he may potentially not make it, into the fight, period. We may have a last minute replacement where people, they're going to be upset, but if it's still a title fight or not, that's what we have to see. Will they still fight on and allow Crawford? I doubt it. I'll be, look, come on, man. I'll be absolutely remiss to say, yeah, I agree with that shit right there. They're going to say, okay, we're going to put a last minute replacement. It's going to be for a title shot. Boom, Ugas wins. Ugas goes there and fight Terrence Crawford. And then people start talking about what? Errol still wins. Because he get this is going to be totally different. If he fights a last minute replacement, that means everything they was hoping didn't happen is happened. That means Crawford gets another belt and they go in there 2-2. I don't think they'll say, well, let's postpone this again and hold up the welterweight division. I don't think that's going to happen. If Errol Spence cannot make the fight with Ugas fights a last minute replacement, he wins or whatever, he gets Crawford or whatever. It depends, man. With these eye injuries, you can never know. You know what I'm saying? It would be better business to scoop up the next belt so we can somehow, some way close down on this Undisputed. If he don't make this fight date and it's supposed to be April, then mid-year, it would suck. It would suck for real. Because that means if Ugas fight is delayed and they fight mid-year just for whatever reason, that's what they need. That that won't even be that won't even be that doesn't even make any sense because Ugas will take the fight with somebody else if that's the case. And then the Errol Spence fight won't just be made 8 weeks later. There's no way. Ugas have to, jump out the fight camp, jump out the ring. You're talking about at least about 4 months. So we'll be held up to the end. And we go into a whole nother year again. We'll go into 2023 without a Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight. Because if indeed he fights, a Ragu, and then he gets a Spence fight, if they hold on to it like that, I would hope they'll just go the Crawford route. But if they take the Spence fight, that'll be a little bit later in the year, near the end. And we'll go into 2023 talking the same shit we did to open up 22. But it'll make it a whole lot more interesting if we're transferring calendar years and Terrence Crawford had the opportunity to fight Yordenis Ugas for that WBA strap, and they both have titles. It'll make it a whole lot interesting, man, for the damn unification. A lot more interesting. Both fighters are going to ask for a paycheck. Both fighters deserve it. We all know who don't have the money. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to come to a goddamn common denominator to make this fight happen. But I'm just giving scenarios out there. I truly believe that, Yordenis Ugas versus Terrence Crawford will be a very exciting fight. For real, it'll be a very exciting fight. For one, Errol Spence won't be a part of the equation. That's for one. You know what I'm saying? So I feel the fight will be much more competitive. You know what I'm saying? Yordenis Ugas is underappreciated and underrated when it comes down to it. You know what I'm saying? He has a Manny Pacquiao in his record. Errol, what? He was smelling it, but no, you don't. Height-wise, man, that'd be a damn good fight. People would latch on to that fight for real. They'll latch on to that fight. It'd be a good topic of this conversation over here on YouTube, for real. Because we won't have to hear anything about man down and all this other stuff that goes on, for real. I'm just being honest. I think Yordenis Ugas might pull this out in April. So we can kind of clean up and sanitize the YTC and start talking about, the Undisputed between Terrence Crawford and Yordenis Ugas. Let's start talking about that. Let's start shaking the bushes. You know what I'm saying? let's start shaking the bushes on that fight. That's a very solid fight, y'all. Spence body held up for Danny Garcia fight, so I'm expecting him to be ready for Ugas. See, look at it this way with Ugas. I can actually say, in my opinion, Ugas would be a different fight. Come on, man. Who had a better fight with Sean Porter? Danny Garcia or Yordenis Ugas? Who looked better? So you want to say he looked good. He held up against Danny Garcia, who's a counterpuncher, who loves sitting and waiting like he did with Sean Porter. Same thing he did with Keith Thurman. I mean, Danny Garcia, the fighter who a lot of people respect, but then you really want to be truthful about it. He never beat a champion with a belt at welterweight. Two different styles we talking about, Mitch. Two different styles. That's coming towards Errol Spence. Two different styles, man. I don't see Ugas beating Spence. Hey, just stay around long enough. You'll see it. You'll see it, Mitch. Just stay around long enough. Continue to click on the goddamn. You'll see it. Just stick around for a little bit. We're about to close out January. We got February, March. It's gonna be here, big dog. Just stay around. It'll come to you. And if somehow the fight doesn't happen, I doubt Ugas will fight Crawford next. They got to make that money, dog. They have to make that money. There's 100 different scenarios people come up with But when it all boils down to it, it is all opinion based speculations that's put out to the media. All it is media carrots. That's it. It's just a little part of nutrition to dangle out there in the media and get everybody, salivating over some shit. We really don't know. We really don't know. It's money in that fight. Crawford is money in people seeing this fight. But guess what? It's so sloppy. You know what I'm saying? It's so sloppy right now. It's starting to catch an odor about it. With everything that's happened in the beginning of this year, with Timothy Smith coming out and all the, the backstage banter that's going on, what I'm hearing over there with PBC, and then you have all the people that's continuing to think that Bud is the primary culprit who would not make the fight. He should take this, that, and the other. It's way deeper than that, man. You know what I'm saying? It's way deeper than that. And for those of you that keep on saying PBC is black owned, okay. Okay, keep on believing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you can't sit up here and act like that boxing is perfect, so one promotion is better than the other, only because it's Al Heyman. But if you look at the PBC fighters, do you see a consistency with black fighters fighting black fighters? Like what are you looking at though? To boost him up, like are you just looking at his skin tone, him being a black man, a successful, intelligent black man? You know what I'm saying? Graduate of Harvard. Is that what you're looking at? Are you looking at how many fighters that he's signing that's black or whatever? Because if you're talking about that, you can definitely look over the top rank too. So what are we basically putting our finger on? What interests us the most at PBC besides Al Heyman? Because none of y'all motherfuckers seen Al Heyman. There's only certain people that I know that probably lay eyes on Al Heyman. But nobody that I talk on here that frequent this shit right here, I'm assuming you haven't. Produce a picture. Give me a receipt. Produce a picture, goddammit. Then Ugas beat Crawford in the arms. Hey, you know how the amateurs is, man. We can talk about who beat who. We can talk about the weight Sean Porter fought in the arms. What is going on now? You know what I'm saying? We could talk about who Sean Porter beat in the arms too. But what has happened now? Moving up and grabbing the belt would stand out on its own reality. No Spence fight required. Stylistically, it favors Ugas. I seen Southpaw box and beat Spence in the arms. All I be trying to put out here is, something that is truthful enough for people to take it serious. When I say that I believe that Errol Spence is a one-dimensional fighter. I truly believe he's very limited in his versatility as being unpredictable. He does hold a position of hierarchy. He does. He's on the pound for pound list. He's earned that unified champion at 147 pounds. But when it comes to overall, just combing through his attributes and everything as a fighter, it don't impress me too much. Like just because you can go forward and get hit and come forward, get hit, you fighting like a Blaxican. You're fighting like a Blaxican. They said, brothers, we don't go in here. We go in here in the box, hit and not get hit, right? Somebody didn't give Errol Spence the memo because he definitely tried to go and stay online and damn throw punches and try to break down his opponent's will just with brute force. Look at him. When he get touched, he just try to return the favor, man. He got to run that back quick. Y'all already know, man. I'm not getting into who's better between him and Crawford and all that. He has the Ugas fight coming up. I really hope the fight happens because I really want to see some progress. I don't care if Spence go in there with 3 belts to Crawford's 1. I don't care. All roads lead to Terrence Crawford anyway. So buckle up. And you're not going to be going fast enough to put the shit on cruise control. For real. Just buckle up, crack the window a little bit, and you get to the destination. Real talk. Like I said, I don't care if Errol Spence go in there with 3 belts, but I truly think that Ugas can pull it out. But don't ever get the taste in your mouth thinking that I want Errol Spence to lose against Ugas. And no, not even, man. Not even. I didn't never dissuade Deontay Wilder or whoever, Teofimo Lopez, not to fight Lomachenko. He should have took this, and this. No, fight the tough opposition. You win some, you lose some. The same thing with this. You know what I'm saying? I think Ugas gets it done against Errol Spence. And that's going to be a relief for YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I don't say it, but somebody was talking to me. Nah, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave that alone, dog. But, I think it'll be, we'll have to set up a YouTube triage, goddammit. I think some people are going to be losing their motherfucking mind on this shit when Errol Spence loses to Ugas. For real. I just think that it's going to be a crash like Wall Street in this bitch. People are going to be sitting there twiddling their thumbs. Shit, I got the notification. Damn, why they ain't goddamn fired up for the live? What's the intro? Damn. People going to be hurt. People going to be hurt. Errol Spence don't win against Ugas. They're going to be hurt. Everything that they put their heart and soul into, man, is going to be nothing. All for naught. I don't want to hear no excuses. No. I don't want to hear shit. Let's get this fight out the way. And you know what? Look, I'm going to be honest with you. If the fight happened this year, cool. It's something we wasn't expecting. Because a lot of people done got to the point where, they shaking their head yes and nodding their head no. You know what I'm saying? It's the people looking like bobbleheads in here when it comes to Spence and Crawford. But listen, it's options out there. You know what I'm saying? If the options is to step up and step on Jermell Charlo, then why not praise Bud for taking that step up? Yeah, I want to see that shit happen. Move up to 54. Who's off limits? Fight, the winner of Sebastian Fundora, Erickson Lubin. Fight that shit. Fight Charles Bad News Conwell. He's up there in the mix. You got a lot of 154 pounders up there. I would say Xander Zayas, but they're going to keep on moving him, carefully, meticulously. They're not going to put him up there with like they doing freaking Ali Wash, Nico Ali Wash. They moving that kid too fast. They trying to move him like Xander. He ain't no Xander Zayas. But you got to look at Zayas is at 154. You know what I'm saying? It's so many people at 54. We're just trying to wait on, the hazmat team to come and decontaminate the WBA and the IBF freaking 160 pound titles. We need them to come decontaminate the area because freaking Gennady Golovkin polluted the hell out that shit. Yoda Murata, he on fault and damn near forever and a day. And then they say, what? COVID, right? So they continue to just grow old. Nobody's even poking Gennady. Like, Gennady, you going to wait for him to come back for real? That's the weakest division. 160 pound dog. If I was Crawford, goddamn, go out there and get a belt from one of them cats. Crawford, man, you can go out box Gennady, man. Come on, bro. Come on, you can go out. You can go get that IBF title at 60. Drop back down to 54, dog. You can do it, man. You can do it. The 160 pound division is wide open for anybody to go up there and trick or treat. Anybody. I'm talking about the top dudes. Want to go up there and trick or treat. It is right there for you. The bag of candy is right there on the doorstep for them to step up to 160 and get the title. WBA, IBF. Simple. And we don't know what, what's going to happen with Andrade. We don't know what's going to happen with Jamal Charlo. But when it comes down to it, Two things sticks out to me. 2 to 3 things stick out to me with Jamal Charlo. Is the fact that he said he's a 160 pounder, but he'll move up to fight Canelo. That's a duck. For one, that's a duck and a cherry pick. A cherry pick where you're going to get your ass beat. No one sees Maul Charlo beating Canelo. They see it as a payday. They see it as a freaking monetary picnic. That's all they see it. They see it as a park bench. You're going to show up. You're going to enjoy the scenery. And you're going to goddamn take it back to the house when it's over. You're going to come out of that fight with an L. And then how long is he going to avoid David Benavidez at 168? You're going to go take the L, your first L against Canelo, right? Who you going to fight next? Canelo common opponent? No need. Turn around and fight Benavidez. There's no need for you to fight Canelo's common opponent. If you get the grand prize right, you got the lottery right now. Take full advantage of it. But remember the shit you was talking. I want it's the same, and people are going to remember the shit he was talking. The Charlos is talking about black fighters and, after Deontay Wilder skills pay the bills and shit like that. We want to see the Charlos from here on out allow your skills to pay the bills. Jamel and Jamal about to get put on Front Street for real. Either hype is about to fly through the motherfucking skies, or that shit's gonna goddamn crash and burn and be in a trash compactor. You got Jamel Charlo with a damn Undisputed with Brian Castano. That's gonna be a tough ass fight. And then you look at Jamal Charlo getting a lottery against Canelo, which some people don't think he's gonna make it to the final bell. Seriously, a lot of people don't think Mark Charlo is gonna make it to the final bell, but he's gonna say, "Oh, I had Canelo." So did Daniel Jacobs, and y'all was hyping up, talking about, you ain't touching no M's. Well, we ain't see shit after that. But when I said like on my other live, I said this: please don't go in there and fight Canelo Alvarez like Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs did enough to lose. That's real talk. He did enough to lose, and he did it. He made it look so very well. You know what I'm saying? I was really hoping he put on a damn display of toughness and courage like he did against Gennady. You know, just another common opponent of Canelo. No, it didn't happen. So I'm looking at Maul Charlo, haven't really faced any of the big names that he could have potentially had a rivalry with, like a Demetrius Andrade, like a Daniel Jacobs. No rivalries. I mean, at least Mel attempted a rivalry with Tony Harrison. He wasn't expecting it, but once he lost his title, he had to face him in a rematch. D-Ray Promotions on deck. What's good with you, bro? Orthodox, Spence is a southpaw. Yeah, he's a southpaw. Yeah, no cap. A lot of amigos like Errol Spence come forward. There will be plenty meltdowns when he loses. For real. I'm telling you, everybody's gonna become. They're gonna be goddamn volunteering themselves, bro. They're gonna be sourcing caregivers and shit to come by and do a welfare check on their ass once Spence lose. What y'all willing to bet on Ugas? What you talking about, Mitch? What you talking about? What your scales look like? What's your number scales look like? Dion said Triple G holding on. He holding on, ain't he? He hoping Canelo loses so they can do 3. I mean, why would he? Well, why would he hope Canelo lose so they can do 3? Because you think Canelo's gonna, show some empathy to return for a trilogy with Triple G? Like, for what? His IBF title? You know what I'm saying? And then I would feel some type of way if Canelo dropped down to 160 to appease Triple G. I would, because you won the second fight. Just like Charlo won the second fight. But it's been talk of a trilogy between these, Canelo and Triple G. But no one wants to see that at 60. He said he was done with 60 pretty much. Do we really want to see Tony Harrison come back? We don't know if we ever see that fight again. Because we know the Charlos hold grudges for motherfucking a decade, dog. Canelo a cherry pick. Oscar think Charlo can do it. Man, Oscar just talking out his mind. Well, I mean, a cherry pick. He don't want to face David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? Look, it's a different type of cherry. He don't want to face David Benavidez, but he knows he's going to hire a bigger paycheck with Canelo and the L. He has no problem taking the L because it's going to be against Canelo. He has no problem with this. He's taking the L. He's going to say, Mel, I know it's been a huge gap. I was there when you took your first L. I seen and felt, and I felt the splash of the teardrop when it hit the table when you shedded a tear. I think I'm going to be right there where you was at. Because I can't see myself beating Canelo. I can't see myself. I don't see myself beating him. Mel going to be like, man, lines only, man. Stop talking like that. Maul, it's lines only forever. I know, but it's Cubs only. It's Cubs only now, man. I don't think I can do it. It's Cubs. It's Cubs only. Never thought I'd hear the day that Canelo be classified as a cherry pick. You gotta read into what I'm talking about. You really gotta dive in. You know what I'm saying? Just overthink this on what I was mentioning about him skipping over Benavidez to fight Canelo. You know what I'm saying? He's basically cherry picking Benavidez to fight Canelo when he knows he's gonna take a L. Many people would say he fairly decent against David Benavidez better than he would Canelo Alvarez. But he's gonna take the paycheck and the fame to go in there and take a L. He know Benavidez is a tough fight. Benavidez is a tough-ass super middleweight. I mean, a big super middleweight. A big super middleweight, dog. So, yeah, Charlo, up here cherry-picking David to fight Canelo. Because he know. Just think about how sweet that cherry gonna taste to you. Everything ain't basic when it come out my mouth, man. Like I'm trying to tell you, man, that's the way he's thinking, dog. He's going over there to get that damn nice paycheck and be able to get the promo, be able to get the concierge service leading up to that, the VIP treatment. Man, just all the media attention. That's what they love. Them Charlos love that shit. They're going to get to show all their sports cars, all their custom trucks, their house. The Charlos love that lens time, bro. Stop. Mar Charlo love that. They're going to soak it all in and shit. They're going to soak all that. He's going to go in there and take that L. But what do broke people know? We just broke motherfuckers. That's all. What do broke motherfuckers know? We don't know shit. Pop a lot on deck. I just want to know, what's your range? Where you at with it, Mitch? I don't know if you want to exchange titles or what. What you driving on, man? You want to do titles? What are we talking about? You have to up the ante when it gets close to the undisputed fight we all been wishing for. You got to up the ante. Oscar be saying anything these days. You know how Oscar is. Do you think Gary Russell Jr. should have taken the Devin fight? What was he looking to gain? Like, he was never in the equation to fight Gary Russell. Like, you're talking about Team Haney is trying to build up their frame of identity with the boxing fans too. So when they sit up here and talk about, a fight with potentially Gary Russell, like what happened on YouTube like that, a lot of true boxing fans knew it wasn't going to happen because they have plans. know what I'm saying? First of all, that would have been a tough fight for Devin. Period. Period. It would have been a very good fight for both of them. Stepping in the ring with a name, you know, Gary Russell Jr., Devin Haney would have been good for boxing in the name. But it would have been a tough fight. I don't know what people are gonna sit up here and say, but Gary Russell can box. He can box. Devin Haney can box. Both of them styles would have meshed up well for a clash. But no way, no how did I see him like Gary Russell Jr. ever was going to step in there with Devin Haney before he fought Linares and Gamboa. Hell no. I knew they was never going to change that damn November date with Gamboa. Never. Never. And look, it refreshed, when I used to do briefs at the Pentagon, right? It refreshed that it kind of made me, took me back, flashes a bit. Back then, when you were sitting there and in these meetings and you going over slideshows and you're discussing shit over and over again. That's what YouTube was like for weeks. I was looking at these models. I was like, God damn, this scenario boiling over. Then, people want to get interviews. Like Batman, Bill Haney put in countless motherfucking hours, dog. Woo-wee. Shouty, what? I mean, every time you turn, you had like 6, 8 people on the panel talking about this shit over and over. And then every now and then Gary Russell pop up in that motherfucker, do a cameo, and okay, that's all I gotta say, Slim. I'm out. That's all I got, Slim. Hey, Shorty, check this out. Shorty, you trying to be gangster, Shorty? He came here and do his cameo, he out, dog. But deep down, real talk, I never believed that they was gonna make the fight. I never believed in all the term sheet shit, because I was talking to people behind the scene too, man. And that shit was never gonna happen. But I just sat back and it took me back to how you're looking at real life situations, right? Wartime, and you're discussing what you're seeing. Sometimes it includes casual knowledge. You're discussing shit, right? And you just taking notes, mental notes. That's what that time took you when Devin Haney potentially, being in the mix with Gary Russell. And then you're taking all these mental notes that take you back to what happened at the Olympics between Terrence Crawford and Gary Russell. It was a lot to process during that time. For real. That was a moment in YouTube that it's going to be very, very difficult to duplicate that shit again. It's going to be very, very difficult because, first of all, you have to have a boxer that is in the good graces of these black media, the ones that roll together and support the same fighter. You got to be in their good graces to get the momentum churning. All right. You have to get that momentum churning, right? And then the other person, they have to be good enough to be the villain. See, everybody ain't cut like Gary to pop on here, give his little spiel and bounce. Batman was the mouthpiece. He was the advocate. That shit was goddamn a classic, dog. Like, you didn't even see Devin. That's what's crazy. You rarely saw Devin on here. You saw Bill. You seen freaking Gary Russell pop up and do a cameo, but you heard Batman on multiple platforms, and the fight still didn't get made. Hoo-wee. I didn't. Did Mitch even respond to that? Like, Mitch, you need to click the link, man. We need to talk about this, bro. Cause I need to know what we talking about. This is high stakes, bro. Remember what they told you. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Hey, you got to know that, Mitch. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. What we talking about? I don't want no tricycle shit either. I like Russell versus Santa Cruz after the surgery. Oh boy, that's been a lot of talk about that, Dion. Leo Santa Cruz and Gary Russell Jr., man. A name that he never fought. And then, the buzz was for the wrong reason when it came to Gary Russell and Leo Santa Cruz. When Gary Russell was hugging Santa Cruz's pops, and then I swear to God, the Latino boxing community on here was going crazy, talk. How dare you put your hands on Santa Cruz Senior? How you put your hands on his father? He's a madman. Like, for real, man, they was mad at Gary Russell. And I think it's a lot of people that see what, that say he had it coming, for the backlash and everything, because they was mad that he put his arm around there like, yeah. You saw how he looked into the camera? Gary wasn't fucking playing, man. But if they was to step in the ring, it'll be bittersweet. Nah, I'll take that back. It'll be sweet because both of them, you know what I'm saying? They had losses in their career. They've been in the same proximity, but never really, got that opportunity to face off and run it. They never had the opportunity. So it'll be good. But like I said before, Lil Santa Cruz, he always walk around like he got a smile on his face. Yeah, when I seen him, man, he was a good dude, man. For real. Like I seen him several times. Lil Santa Cruz is a good dude. Gary Russell, same way. Just a bit more serious and straight to the point. That'll be a good fight, bro. That would be a good fight. I hope it does happen. I hope it be for a belt too, Dion. You know what I'm saying? It'd be good if it's for a belt. Well, we'll see, man. That's so far up the road. It's hard to even imagine what would take place in the next couple months. Like in the next 4 to 5 months, what's gonna take place? You know what I'm saying? We still waiting on so much to come to the surface in this boxing shit. We want to look on there and see unread messages. We don't get that from boxing. We want to see the unread. Like, I want shit to be filtering in this unread. Like, I'm like, God damn, this came in. What's this about? Oh, so and so gonna fight this person. Okay, cool. Like Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez fight. Damn, I wish that shit in the A. Man, I wish that fight was in the A. Then we don't know when Gervonta's coming back. No one's really looking for a Charlo. We can steady fantasize about the 147, and then Boots' name can come up forever and a day. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna continue to do what he do, and people's not gonna be able to stop Boots from getting the title. When he finally gets inside, it don't matter if it's both toes. When he finally gets inside, it's gonna be a problem. But like I said before, I'm not worried about him facing off against Crawford. I just know how Crawford is, how good he is when it comes to the sport of boxing, and how Boots, will find that out stepping in there with him if they ever get down to it, and things, twist and turns like that. But you know who I'm going for, period. We still wait for Camboza to get with it. You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen with that? Well, who's Ryan Garcia going to face when he come back? Do y'all even give a damn? He's supposed to be facing somebody on his return. So we don't know what's going to happen with Ryan Garcia. And what about, hey, I forgot to mention this today. I talked about it. The post-fight recap. That Petros Ananyan fight against Subriel Matias. God damn. Wow. To avenge that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. And people were sleeping. They didn't even know they fought previously, dog. That was a motherfucking fight, y'all. I'm not going to lie to you. That was a motherfucking fight. If y'all didn't enjoy watching Matias break down an onion. Matias has been thinking about that fight. You know what I'm saying? He was thinking about that fight when he fought Malik Hawkins and stopped him. He been thinking about that fight, y'all. He lost the UD to Petrus Ananian back in 2020. They was on the card. You know what I'm saying? That February 22nd. Y'all know that date? That February 22nd date. That shit was a barn burner. I ain't gonna lie. I like that. I like that fight right there. Matias is a dog, and it's gonna be interesting. I don't want to say, well, throw Gary Antoine Russell in there. I do believe, real talk. I'm just keeping positive that they're not blackballed. I really hope that Antoine is not blackballed like Gary. I hope, if we talking about PBC being all black, Floyd Mayweather's black. We already hear all the rumor mill about how Gary was pretty much ostracized. You know what I'm saying? Why he's been on the shelf all this time. So I'm really hoping his brother doesn't have to pretty much feel the ill effects of what Gary had to go through. I really don't, because he's talented as hell. And they got some pretty big names at 140 to match him up with. From what I'm hearing, he's supposed to fight Victor Postal next. He said he's gonna stop him in 5. He said he's gonna stop him in 5, y'all. Man, the Oracle is in the building. The Oracle is in the building, y'all. The one and only Trick Noty. The Oracle has entered the building. What's good with you, Trick? How you feeling? How you feeling, Trick? Trick be doing the shit behind the scenes, man. Appreciate what you got going on, man. The lifeline that you give these fighters and these channels over here to talk to the OGs of boxing. That left hook landed by Matias was beautiful. It was, man. Like his punch combination, that'd be a beautiful fight between him and Antoine, for real. But I know he's been thinking a lot about rejoining, sharing the ring with Ananian, and they lived up to the hype, man, of a rematch. They lived up to the hype, man. I think they should have a trilogy. Seriously. I mean, they 1-1. Ananian beat him the first time, unanimous decision. And then, of course, Matias ended up stopping him in the rematch. A lot of times when you stopped in boxing, they don't even give a rematch. You know, man, it all depends. Everybody can't do Lennox Lewis. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't beat Lennox Lewis. But I know in mixed martial arts, Joanna Young J Chick was stopped by Thug Rose Namajunas. She got an immediate rematch. The same went with when Rose knocked out Zhang Wali in the first round. Rematch. They allow their fighters, man, their champions. If they get beat, they allow them a time to return to the ring and fight. They have no problem, just like we just seen the other night over there at UFC 270. Check note to say Matias throws combos like Ben Tacky used to. Yeah, man, he's sticky, ain't he? He's very sticky, ain't he? For real. Dude put his combinations together, and goddamn it, it's almost like they're laser got it, bro. He don't miss. Matias shit don't miss, bro. Damn. Like him and David Benavidez somewhat operate the same sometimes. Like they stay squared up to their opposition. Matias was up against the ropes, never even gave a damn about that shit. You can tell he's been polishing that craft in the gym, knowing how to fight on the inside and off the ropes. Dude is an issue, bro. He's an issue. You really have to have that damn lung capacity, those bags to be able to stay with him. Like David Benavidez squares up like that and put punch combinations together like that. It's not like Matias cannot be hit, but not every one of his punches has maximum power to it. But the way he finesse his combinations, he shift gears in between the combinations, man. And we're talking about 6 to 8 punch combos sometimes. I'm like, God, Jesus, man. Surgical with that shit too? Motherfucker was surgical. He had an onion looking like a grapefruit with shoulders. His face looked like a grapefruit, y'all. He would have look. They would have let him stay in that motherfucker. It would have been split open like a grape. He was tearing him up, y'all. It was a good ass fight though. That shit was on point. It was solid. It was good for the fan base of boxing, and also, you know, it was a jewel that we rarely get. We rarely get that spotlight for boxing. That we have a sleeper on the undercard like that. I knew. I'll tell you straight up, that fight stole the night. As they say in editor terms, in writers and authors terms, that fight carried the night. That performance carried the night. It did. It far exceeded Gary Russell Jr. and Mark Masayo. Not because of a mediocre performance from Gary Russell, but it was more so the lack thereof of Masayo. That's just my thought process on it. He throws short shots inside. David throws them on the run. What I'm more so talking about, Trick, is them being squared up in front of their opponent. See, the time like David Benavidez, he'll stay right there in front of you and throw combinations, and he'll get hit and he'll still stay right there. It don't matter if he's on the ropes, he's in the middle of the ring. It don't matter. They have no problem, you know, staying in the furnace and throwing leather. You know, they have no problem with that. Yeah, both are beasts. I agree. For real. Ghost on deck. How you feeling, bro? Salute to you. Matias was literally walking through. Hey, bro. Listen. Man, you ain't lying. Oh my God. Look, I like Malik Hawkins, man, the Iceman. Man, I know a lot about his backstory, all that. But goddamn, when I found out he was fighting Matias, I was like, ugh, that's a lot of heat for Ice. Shit about to melt over this motherfucker, for real. I mean, it was like, look, even the fight with Darwin Price. Darwin Price was landing some. Look, I shot the entire fight. That's one time I was able to shoot ringside. I shot the entire Darwin Price Malik Hawkins fight. I got some very good pictures from that fight. He was getting touched up by Darwin Price before Price hurt his knee. Look, Price would have gave Malik Hawkins his first loss if he wouldn't have hurt his knee. That's facts. Darwin was lighting Malik Hawkins up like a Christmas tree, goddammit. He was lighting him up. He was boxing. You want to talk about a boxer who can box? Darwin Price is very underrated. I just hope he stays healthy, but he's very underrated, man. Y'all might not know him, but Darwin Price, who fought Malik Hawkins, bro. Dude is an issue, for real. Let me see something right quick. Let me check something out right quick, shawty. Let me see. Of course, he just he look. I know he looked back at Richardson Hitchens' loss like, damn, did I actually go 10 rounds and look like that? But Darren Price is 18-1, 11 knockouts, y'all. His last fight was against Jean Carlos Torres, October 2021. He stopped him in 6th round. You know what I'm saying? His only loss was a knee injury from Malik Hawkins. He came back and fought Saul Corral and stopped him in the 5th. Before his loss to Malik Hawkins, he stopped Breeders Prescott in the 5th. He stopped Aaron Herrera in the 2nd. Stopped Luis Eduardo Flores in the 6th. Come on, man. Darren Price, 18-1 and old dog, 11 knockouts, bro. I just gave you a little gem to work with, you know? That dude, I seen him box up and close and personal against Malik. We'll see how that works, man. You know, that's 140 pounds. Let's see how that works. How they gonna move Malik, you know, this year? Is he gonna step in there with a solid name? You know, especially after Matias fight. Will we ever see a Matias? You know what I'm saying? Like a rematch? Will we ever get a rematch, dog? I don't think they'll let. No, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. I don't think they'll let, after him coming off that Richardson Hitchens. No, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen, shawty. But I'd definitely like to see him step in there with Matias, though, if he's healthy. He's 32 years old, so he's getting up there. I'm saying, but I'd definitely like to see that fight for real. For real. Darwin is my man. He out here in Houston. Good guy, fast, long, and yes, underrated. Yeah, man, you gotta see these boxers. Like, you gotta see these boxers in person. Like, you know, a lot of people don't know who he is, but I know who he is. I seen him fight. Dude can box, man. Dude can box. I seen him on a couple of podcasts here and there. But yeah, he with it, bro. He definitely should have been the how you put it. He definitely should have been the first one to hand Malik Hawkins his loss, because he clearly was beating him, and then he messed up his knee. So Malik was only, you know, spared. He was spared a little bit at that point in time from what he finally got. You know what I'm saying? He was spared a little bit. For the Richardson Hitchens fight, that was just him being outboxed. I don't know what the hell I was watching. It was almost like Francis Ngannou, Derek Lewis all over again. Like that. Look, I salute Richardson Hitchens. I don't have no criticism, personal, nothing. I just feel that how's he ever gonna build upon his brand? Are you planning on staying longevity wise in boxing? Because you're just like bland, dog. Like, Jesus Christ, man. It's like chopping off tree bark and just playing around with it for nothing. You know what I'm saying? It got tree sap on it and everything. You're just breaking it up with a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver. And it's, you know, you seeing the ants and shit that's in it. And you're just bored as fuck. You're there playing with the sap on your finger. Oh, shit, this shit's sticky as hell. Then you say, oh, let me look around. You taste the tree sap. Oh, shit. That shit is nasty. You know what I'm saying? That's how that fight made you think. You know what the fuck to do. I was like, what? This fight is boring as hell, dog. And I fucks with Richardson Hitchens, man. Good dude, man. But Jesus, dog. There's something else I want to mention. I don't know why people ain't sitting up here jumping on this Lunga Makabu fight. You know what I'm saying? A Lunga Makabu fight with Saul Canelo Alvarez. Why y'all ain't talking about that shit, dog? That's about to go down for the WBC strap. Let me ask y'all a question. Y'all think Canelo can pull it off? And last but not least, I got to talk about the one and only. I didn't put him up on the thumbnail because I'm really unsure if this is actually going to take place and become official. But WBA orders Gervonta Davis versus Rolando Romero fight. And once again, this is on Boxing News 24 with all the spelling errors that you can imagine in your journalistic life, y'all. They spelled Rolando Romero's name Romerto. I swear to God, they don't care about damn spell check over that Boxing News 24. But I still read their articles sometimes, you know. But they don't care about no damn correction, revisions, none of that shit. They say on Monday, the WBA regular lightweight champion Gervonta Tank Davis has been ordered by the World Boxing Association to begin negotiations with number one ranked contender Rolando Romero. The Gervonta Davis versus Rolando Romero fight is expected to be shown on Showtime pay-per-view, which won't make boxing fans happy because it's not a PPV-worthy fight. I disagree. Because being that PBC or whoever, Floyd, whoever, dog, shorted this man the opportunity to step in there in place as the original opponent of Isaac Cruz. And this man, I believe Rolling when he was saying he was going to buy his mom. I believe him. I believe Rolling when he was saying he wanted to buy his mom, a house, and it was going to be his biggest payday. I believe him. They did him bad. They did him dirty. Bro. I actually felt, bad for how they did him. Charges was never brought against Rolly. The shit was dismissed, and he's out of a fight. Now, they ordering. Could Rolando Romero hit a surge right now in his career if he goes in there knowing that how Tank just looked against Cruz? Romero has no other choice except to go the distance with Tank. He has no other choice. He want his career to continue to reach new heights, he definitely had to go the distance. You can't go in there and get stopped, bro. You can't. You need to go in there and go the distance too. And plus, in my opinion, I don't know, you're just going to get a different type of toughness from Rolly against Tank. You're just going to get a different type of Tank versus Tank. Like Rolly a tank too now. He's a tank in a different way. You know what I'm saying? He's a tank that's remotely controlled, Rolly. And you're going to run into shit because you're just looking through a screen. You're going to run into some goddamn creeks and goddamn ravines and shit. Your ride is going to be bumpy. Tank, he's driving. He's fully in control. He know what direction he want to go in. But Rolly, his shit driving all up and down the hills. Goddamn in water and shit. He's just a rough, drag him out type of dude. And when you come to Gervonta Davis, you're going to get a little bit taller fighter than Isaac Cruz. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to get a motherfucker that's used to proving himself in the doghouse or whatever it's called. Rolly Romero is guaranteed to give you a crossface. He's a tough dude. I'm just curious of how many, uppercuts can he take? How many hooks? Cruz is much more sound than Rolly. So Rolly is going to come up there a bit open-ended. And it's gonna be, their targets for Tank Davis to land his shots better than Cruz, because Cruz defense was ironclad sometime, people. That shit was on point. He had his fort right. J. Ocho on that. What's good, man? He said Macabre a good dude. I hope he wins. Ghost, I understand. I know where you're going with that. I know where you're coming from with that, but I don't see it happening. And if it did, it'd be one of the biggest upsets in boxing. It would be Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. For real. Can it be bigger? I don't know. That's a good topic of discussion. But I really don't like to, talk about shit like that because I don't think it'll happen. I don't think Makabu has a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez at all. That tree sap tastes like the earwax from a European badger. You know what I'm saying? Be out there doing boring shit. But I really want to see that fight with Tank and Rolly. I really hope they pay him equal to more that he was going to get with Tank the first time. Now, since they have a little bit of time, I'm just going to put that out there. If anybody's close to the camp over there in Vegas, check this out. Help that man learn how to talk trash. I used to listen to Kamaru Usman, the current welterweight world champion over there at the UFC, right? I used to listen to him try to talk trash, and his shit was weak. Now, Kamaru Usman is one of the best trash talkers for that ass, boy. Like, his comebacks are on point. It doesn't sound rehearsed like Kobe. His shit's on point. He used to be garbage when it came to trash talking. Somebody just work with him. Work with Rolly, bro. And don't come back up and look at them arms, man. Them arms. My dick billionaire arms, man. Man, come on. No. And please don't put him in a chinchilla or whatever that shit was. Yeti. Don't put him in a Yeti, man. Don't bring him back out there in a Yeti. Dress that man in a goddamn, a 3-button shirt. You know what I'm saying? Some casual shit in case something pop off. Just ask Canelo. Don't come in there with nothing overboard. Just dress him up real nice. Throw the shades on him, and say keep that shit brief. And we already know the deal. We all know, the history. You want to prove that you a worthy opposition out of there? I know. Rolly goes in here and put Tank in any type of trouble. That's bragging rights right there. So I really hope this shit happens, man. Rolly is 14-0, 12 knockouts. 14-0, 12 knockouts. I think Gervonta is 26-0, 24 knockouts, man. That would be good. That would be awesome. But that's what it is, people. Hey, do me a favor, man. Stop in tomorrow and check out my interview with Rick Glaser, man. It's going to be at 10 p.m. You get an opportunity to hear, some questions asked on a lot of topics that's going on, concerning him in general. You know what I'm saying? I give my take on it or whatever the case may be. But, shout out to Fred for a damn good 2 interviews, and also it was check out his interview with Serafina too. You know what I'm saying? He's been putting down some very good interviews. The Rick Glaser interview is very good. The reason I'm saying that is because, you was able to get callers to call in. I'm not having no callers call in. I'm still thinking about it though. But then also he was there for 3+ hours answering questions. Nobody can blame that man for what he didn't do. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you though. Like, how many? Check this out, because you know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm going with this, my people. How many of you would have went on a platform, a white platform, or a Hispanic, a Latino platform, sat in the shoot when you know you was gonna get incoming fire, and they was gonna be blasting? They was gonna ask you some tough questions, say some shit that didn't sit right with you. Would you sit there for 3 hours? Would you sit there for 3 hours without cussing? I don't think I heard the man cuss at all, man. As much controversy that's surrounding him and what people think, I didn't hear him dropping any obscenities like that. Man, y'all tune in, man. I ain't gonna give you too much. Tune in tomorrow, 10 p.m., man. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Continue to support the channel, man. Hey, I'm trying to get 10,000 subs, bro. People just come in here and look and they go. Man, y'all got to hit the sub button. You know what I'm saying? Support the channel for real. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about, man. Till next time, turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports.